Stephen Jules Radio Show.
Well, tonight it's Sunday night while I am hosting this live podcast on Rumble. And how are we? Today I started working on a new single, trying out some different styles of music, so that's been fantastic to just get the creative juices flowing. Does anyone out there ever get, sometimes when you get frustrated, whether you're writing a book or any creative projects you're doing, and it's like you try too hard, it never works. Then, you just forget about it, or you put it down, and then you go do research, and then you come back. Oh, wasn't as hard as I thought it was. Yeah, but I was like that. I was trying to write a new single, and just ended up, basically just recording just some random guitar riffs. But yeah, once you find your groove, you never know where it's going to go. So I always find singles more easier to release. I usually will release a single or an EP first before I will go and work on an album for 6 months to a year, because an album's a lot of work. Yeah. So I thought I'd let you know about what I've been up to. But cost of living pressures are hurting Australians, and people like to go to the pub to have a schooner or a beer. I can't remember the last time I went to a pub. Would have been probably 2 years ago, at least. I know alcohol in the pubs and clubs have definitely gone up in price. Like, we're talking, if you go around Circular Quay, all right, a schooner around there now will cost you about $15. I remember it was about $10. And then some pubs charge $6 for a light beer. Now, I believe that all this beer tax, excess tax, this tax the Labor government's doing and hurting, it's more the small businesses are suffering the worst. And not only that, small business owners who own a cafe have had to go and take up a side hustle or a second job. Some are doing consultation work just to be able to pay themselves, because the money they make at the end of the month, they just put it straight back into the business, because the GST is what's screwing them over. There's no help from the state government, federal government for small businesses in this country. They just don't. So that's why I keep telling people, when you buy stuff, support your small businesses. Tobacco, go to a TSG or a King's Tobacconist. Don't be buying alcohol from a corporation. If you can support, but sometimes wherever you are, I don't know, Liquorland, Dan Murphy's, Woolworths, my experience with Dan Murphy's, for some reason, I don't know, I just don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it. I don't know why. I'm fed up with these corporations taking over small businesses. Like, I notice the quality of meat from a butcher is far more better than what you get in Coles or Woolies. because there's so when you go to a butcher who runs a small business, there's a lot more time and effort that goes into their meat products. And I don't know what it is with Coles and Woolies. It just there's no appreciation. I as I've grown, I'll be 31 this year, and further improving my spiritual life and intuition, I've started to realize the power of a small business is what we need. But the Albanese government just keeps denying it. But Peter Dutton was quite right. People are fed up of paying overpriced electricity. You know, petrol's the taxes that I put on top of petrol is so bloody high. I think we're the second highest tax country in the world. Now, obviously, the petrol stations, they have to pay the supplier, then the tax, and they're not making a big profit margin out of it. And then it's getting to the point where they're having this is where the whole $2 even up a litre comes in. It's got something to do with government plus the owner. They've got to make a profit. So they're not making a huge profit margin out of it. So never did I ever think that, especially cafes have suffered the most. Inflation hit. Yeah, just support. All I can say is if you have a favourite cafe or whatever, just keep them going. A barber shop, whatever it is, your local pharmacist. We do our best to keep our small businesses afloat because I don't want us to have to rely on Coles or Woolworths, and then the dictatorship will begin. And then the woke CEOs in these corporations are the ones deciding how much you're going to pay for your cup of noodles. It sucks, doesn't it? And all this shrinkflation bullshit. And yeah, that's the current economic problem in Australia is weak. Yeah, it just seems to me that the current Labor government just wants your hard-earned money. Now I'm talking that as in the what we purchase, our electricity, our day-to-day goods and services, because it seems they just want to steal more money from small business and owners and corporations. They're able to get away with not paying any tax at all, so it's not fair. Yeah, just I guess, and the problem is if schooners, especially if you like going to the pub, they keep jacking the prices up, well, customers are going to unfortunately stop going. And sadly, it's going to put the pub out of business. Then they're going to shut. I know that there's some pub owners that are willing to drop the prices of a Tooheys New just to keep his loyal customers, which is, you got to give them a lot of credit for that because they're losing money. But yeah, tough times are ahead, guys, economic wise. Yeah, it's just important for Australians to wake up and decide, well, Do we want to be paying $15 for a schooner at the pub? I don't. Now, it's just quite interesting that some of the research that I do. Okay. But, it's been a tough time for, well, everyone, I guess. Everyone's feeling it today. So you can disagree, you may have different opinions about inflation, but it is here. We've seen all these price hikes over the last 2 years just going up and up and up and up, and oh my god, never ends. But yeah, all I can say for the next federal election is definitely, do your research who you're voting on. Like the failed voice referendum, which was a waste of time. Yeah, look, I would say I am disappointed in Australian politics at the moment. Because I feel that certain things are just not being done for the people. You try and contact Chris Minns or Gladys Berejiklian, they're never in their office. Optus, I don't know. I'm fed up with telecommunications services as well, honestly. Like, all the complaints we've had about Telstra, Optus getting hacked. I could vent about Vodafone, and it's like we have to rely on these services. And when the government start getting involved and start, want to price increase the NBN because they know it's an essential service. You need to have internet because we live in the world where our phone is pretty much got all personal information on it. They know that. They know who you are. So, they'll start milking money out of people. We need the internet, of course, and it's an essential service, the telephone. I know that, for me, I'm grateful that I have these utilities to create content. I'm just telling you what the costs of the real world are now. It very expensive out there. Look, I do have ambitions and goals for the future to be a successful content creator. I mean, I do this because I love it. I'm on this podcast because I love it. I love being able to get the message out there. That is definitely how I see it. The Australian economy going. Just seems to be piss weak at the moment. The Australian dollar's useless for the stuff we buy. So I guess things will change. Partly due to the pandemic, it was. COVID still hanging around. I don't know. I'm fed up with that bloody thing, honestly. I'm over it. I really am over it. Yeah, no, it's the Formula One's looking good. In Singapore, there was the track in Singapore was quite difficult. I think Lando Norris in qualifying ended up getting a minute 29 lap time, which is fast around there. That's pushing it, and that's not an easy track. It's you don't have it, like I play F124. You don't have a lot of straights, so you don't get that high speed. You probably you might just get up to 300 kilometers an hour with DRS, but then all of a sudden you got this corner, and quite a few times when I played F124, I crashed in the wall and the front wing's gone. Yeah, it's one of those tracks. It's very bendy, very bendy. So I think it was Charles Leclerc got one of his times deleted. I don't know why the stewards would do it. I think track limits. Yeah, Formula One, as I said, are very, very strict on track limits. So no, it's yeah, that's car racing. I'll keep saying it's car racing. That's well, how do people feel about the new engine regulations that are coming in and the V12? Remember the good old days of the V12 engines? Those were awesome. Um, yeah, those were great. Those were really great. Yeah, no, so that's kind of my rant about the current economic situation in Australia. I'm sure every country is feeling it, but that's why at times we turn to sport because it takes our mind off all the bad things that have been going on. Like I said, our stadiums in Australia are underfunded. Okay. And that's the problem. They need to be upgraded. We need to be putting more money into our footy stadiums, improving our transport system in New South Wales, Australia. Okay. Improving the airport. I don't know. Want to tell people get solar panels. Speaking of solar panels, are people out there getting cold calls for solar panels? I keep hearing about it. Like, tell these bastards to fuck off, and you're not interested. Um, yeah, stupid idiots. Honestly, trying to sell solar panels to people. Yeah, there's a lot of scammers out there too. Yeah, you got to be careful now because scammers are so good at impersonating your bank. They're very good at impersonating the telecom companies, streaming services, and all that. They're getting so clever, and yeah, it's like the world of the mobile phone that. It's become another world in itself, the digital world. I will support the minimum age for social media because I believe that social media has done a lot of damage to mental health, and that's not been very good for anyone at all. And especially like Facebook has caused a lot of problems, depression, anxiety. Yeah, it's quite sad, actually. Very, very sad that these big tech companies have the power to literally just switch you off straight away. So, yeah, then I believe people need to know the truth about these tech corporations. All they just do is just profit from your data and sell it. Yeah, and look, there were people in the company that knew it for years. As soon as they spoke out against Facebook, they were silenced. Yeah, it's very sad, isn't it? That all that time we've spent and all that data they collect, they sell it to third-party advertisers. God, I hate that. I really hate that. Getting advertising and then you get bombarded with spam trying to sell Viagra. Fuck off. That's the world we live in. Data is so much more valuable than anything else out there. Yep. But sport's been interesting. Cricket's definitely a changing game. I thought I'd speak about cricket. I'd love to see more leg spin bowlers entering the game, playing Test cricket, leg spin. But is Test cricket dying out? Is the question for everyone. Test cricket is actually one of the hardest sports in the world to play Test cricket. All right? People don't understand how much mental exhaustion and strategy a game of Test cricket is. Yeah, you get days where the game's washed out and it's drawn. That's Test cricket. You have great batting days. You score and runs. You're able to time the ball well. Oh, and then you get a golden duck, or your bowler getting hit for sixes, and then you bowl bad one day, but then the next day you bowl great. You have a bad first innings. You come back in the second innings, and you just take those wickets. That's Test cricket. That's what I love about it. The partnerships, the strategy involved. And one day cricket's great. The 2020 came along it was just an entertainment thing, and it's great. I mean, I go and watch the Big Bash in the summer. It's great. It's fast. It's good that they're making it faster as well. And there's nothing wrong with it. But usually the foundation is Test cricket, and one day is probably. I feel that they play more one dayers than Test matches. I'd rather see more Test matches. Then you got the World Cup, of course. That's important. Even more day-night test matches would be great with the pink ball. That would solve the bad light problem because players don't want to be going off because of bad light. It's frustrating. That would have a. I'm not sure if the ICC is going to change the rules about bad light, or if there is, they would just bowl spinners for the rest of the afternoon. Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, but that's how the game is played today. Yeah, but it's great. If you ever get a chance to go watch the cricket, just go. I mean, great to, yeah, just see what it's like. And yeah, that's I found Test cricket is actually one of the, probably, yeah, it's a great game. It's a really great game, Test cricket. That's what it is right now. There was an article in the Daily Telegraph. Glenn McGrath, greatest bowler for Australia, was, I think he was fearing that Test cricket was dying out. And a lot of players aren't keen to be playing for the international teams because you got the IPL 2020. Because the 2020, that's where the big money is. A lot of players who are on the verge of retirement will go and play in the Big Bash just to get that extra. I'd say they'll get the extra paycheck, of course. But yeah, I'd love to see more World Championship cricket being played. That would be great. That would really be great. Yeah, that'd be good. It'd be really good to see that happen. Yeah, well, I guess video games. I really enjoy. I've been playing Cricket 24. Yeah, it's been great. Trying to score runs. I certainly hope that EA Sports keeps making cricket games. That would be good. I don't know why they didn't make very many cricket games. Why not? That's what I'd like to know. I mean, it's interesting about AI in video games, how AI is starting to, we can compete with artificial intelligence in the game. It's slowly, as soon as you, how do I say it, as soon as you, what is doing good, it starts to try to make it harder for us. I mean, we can set artificial intelligence to a point where it's near impossible or not human like. But it's good practice with artificial intelligence. That's, yeah. That's just how it is with AI these days. Um, Yeah, so should we be relying on AI? I'd say, well, no. Because you still need to think like a human being as well. Speaking of space as well, apparently there's some astronauts that are still stuck in the space station. I hope that they can get back, or yeah, because it's been quite a long time to be stuck up there in the space station, and yeah, that's what can you do? NASA, SpaceX, got to figure a way. If Elon Musk can help them, that would be great. It's nice to see SpaceX. I think there was an astronaut that was able to hop out of the space, one of the SpaceX capsule with, you know, a spacesuit on, which looked pretty good. Yeah, I wonder what the journey to Mars would be and how long it would take. And apparently, I don't know, it would take 1 year to get to Mars, and then is it 1 year back? It would be a bloody long time. I don't know how they would do it, but yeah, that's space is definitely come a long way since the very first moon landing. It's interesting space. Yeah, what the future, the mission to Mars, and there's been quite a lot of movies about Mars. I wonder how it would go. Yeah, that would be very good as well. That would be very good. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. Thought I'd hop on here and do a podcast. Wish everyone all the best. I'm out of here.